She's gone from being a vilified royal mistress to the woman who will now shape the future of the monarchy. Camilla Parker Bowles has come a long way in the eyes of her nation and the world.
It's the most controversial Princess Diana story ever. Her family desperately tried to stop. In a moment, you'll see why.
Camilla, Duchess of Cornwall, has traversed an extraordinary and often tumultuous journey from being the most vilified figure in modern royal history to becoming a central pillar poised to shape the future of the British monarchy. Her evolution from the third person in the royal marriage of Prince Charles and Princess Diana to the Queen Consort has been fraught with public hostility, relentless media scrutiny, and deeply personal battles played out on the world stage. The shadow of Princess Diana's iconic presence loomed large over Camilla's early years in the public eye. The late Princess of Wales was not only beloved by the British public, but had become a symbol of compassion and grace, often described affectionately as the people's princess. When Diana spoke candidly in the infamous 1995 BBC Panorama interview about her marriage, famously stating, "Well, there were 3 of us in this marriage, so it was a bit crowded," she forever cemented Camilla's position as the scapegoat in the tragic breakdown of one of the most closely watched royal unions of the 20th century. This was the moment when Camilla Parker Bowles became the Rottweiler, a moniker bestowed upon her by the tabloids, reflecting the widespread public resentment that sought to attribute blame to her for the collapse of Charles and Diana's marriage. The media's unforgiving portrayal reduced Camilla to the villain in a real-life royal drama, a role she neither sought nor welcomed but was unable to escape. Beneath the relentless onslaught of public criticism and relentless media scrutiny, Camilla, Duchess of Cornwall, exhibited a quiet but resolute resilience that few initially credited her with. Far from withdrawing into the shadows or retreating from the unforgiving spotlight, she embraced the challenge head-on, embodying a steely determination not only to endure but to carve out a dignified and enduring role within an institution that had long been hostile to her presence. This transformation was not instantaneous. It was a painstaking journey marked by calculated patience, strategic reinvention, and an unwavering commitment to reshaping her public persona amid a maelstrom of skepticism and scorn. One particularly revealing episode in this fraught journey unfolded at a private social gathering held by Camilla's sister, Annabel Elliot. The event, intimate and carefully orchestrated, was notable for the unexpected invitation extended to Diana, then Princess of Wales, a gesture that was, in itself, a poignant nod to the complex and often fraught intersections of personal histories within the royal family. Diana's presence at the gathering was as unpredictable as it was electrifying, casting a palpable tension over the room and setting the stage for a confrontation that would soon become emblematic of the broader drama unfolding between these intertwined lives. As the evening progressed, marked by strained politeness and subtle undercurrents of unease, Diana confided in her bodyguard her inability to locate either her husband, Prince Charles, or Camilla. Accompanied by her loyal protector, she ventured into the recesses of the property's basement, where the couple was found engaged in a quiet, seemingly innocuous conversation. What might have been a mere social encounter swiftly escalated into a moment of raw emotional clarity. Summoning every ounce of courage and composure, Diana confronted Camilla directly, her words cutting through the veneer of polite deniability. "Don't treat me like an idiot," she reportedly declared, laying bare her acute awareness of the ongoing affair that had long been whispered about in hushed tones within royal corridors and tabloid pages alike. Camilla's response, swift and pointed, was no less telling. With a measured yet unapologetic remark, she referenced the 2 beautiful children she had borne to Charles, a tacit acknowledgement of their shared, complicated reality that defied public pretense. This exchange, charged with tension and unvarnished truth, symbolized the raw personal confrontations that often lie beneath the polished surface of royal protocol, a stark reminder that the monarchy, for all its grandeur, is not immune to the messy entanglements of human emotion and betrayal. The ensuing years did little to alleviate Camilla's precarious position within the public eye or the royal family. The media's vitriol remained unabated, painting her as the perennial other woman, the figure most culpable for the disintegration of one of the 20th century's most celebrated royal marriages. Public sentiment was overwhelmingly sympathetic to Diana, whose charisma, compassion, and tragic fate had endeared her to millions worldwide, casting a long and often unyielding shadow over Camilla's efforts to be accepted. The seismic rupture caused by the separation of Charles and Diana in 1992 followed by their formal divorce in 1996, entrenched this narrative. Camilla's position as an outsider was cemented, with much of the public and royal observers alike perceiving her as an interloper who had disrupted a fairy tale union. The tragedy was compounded in 1997 when Diana's untimely death in a car accident sent shockwaves through the nation and the world. The event crystallized public grief and loyalty to the late Princess of Wales, further isolating Camilla within the royal milieu and solidifying her role as a figure of controversy. Perhaps most poignantly, in the immediate aftermath of the crash, reports surfaced that Prince Charles's first phone call was not to his mother, Queen Elizabeth II, who was at Balmoral Castle with other family members, but to Camilla Parker Bowles. This intimate detail, revealing the closeness and significance of their relationship, caused considerable discomfort both within the royal household and among the British public. Camilla's reassuring words to Charles that Diana was in the best physical shape of her life and would undoubtedly recover stood in stark contrast to the grim reality unfolding. These private exchanges, occurring behind closed doors while the nation mourned, intensified speculation about the depth of the bond between Charles and Camilla and underscored the delicate tensions simmering within the royal family. Camilla's ability to navigate these treacherous waters with a combination of quiet strength and strategic engagement has, over time, reshaped her role within the monarchy. From the vilified other woman, she has emerged as a dedicated consort and patron, committed to charitable causes and public service, earning a grudging respect from sections of the public and royal commentators alike. Yet, the legacy of the past and the enduring affection for Diana continue to color perceptions, ensuring that Camilla's journey remains both a personal challenge and a public spectacle. This complex and multifaceted narrative, marked by moments of confrontation, resilience, and transformation, provides a window into the deeply human struggles at the heart of the British monarchy. It reveals an institution continually balancing the weight of history with the demands of the present, where personal loyalties and public duties often collide with profound consequences. Camilla's story, intertwined inexorably with Diana's legacy, remains a defining element in the ongoing evolution of the royal family's identity and its place in modern Britain. In the immediate aftermath of the tragic death of Diana, Princess of Wales, the atmosphere within the royal household was one of profound sorrow and careful deliberation. It is widely reported that both Prince Charles and Camilla, then still navigating their complex personal and public positions, made the heart-wrenching decision to withhold the devastating news from Princes William and Harry. The young princes were, at the time, shielded from the grim reality until they could have a peaceful and undisturbed night's sleep, a decision underscoring the profound weight of parental responsibility amidst unparalleled public grief. This choice reflected not only a deep desire to protect the children's innocence, but also the intricate emotional calculus the family grappled with during those harrowing hours, a moment where personal vulnerability intersected with the expectations of royal decorum. Yet, despite the enduring shadows cast by that fateful night, the years following Diana's passing witnessed a slow, cautious, and often painful process of rehabilitation for Camilla's public persona. The British public, which had once greeted her with widespread hostility and disdain, infamously branding her the third person in Charles and Diana's marriage, began to gradually soften its stance. This evolution was no mere happenstance, but a testament to Camilla's steadfast commitment to a broad range of charitable endeavors, notably in the fields of literacy promotion, health advocacy, and domestic violence awareness. Through her persistent work with numerous organizations, she sought not only to redefine her image, but also to offer tangible contributions that resonated with the public's values and concerns. However, Camilla's ascent to her current position as Queen Consort has been fraught with challenges both external and internal. Her past, indelibly linked to the late Princess Diana, continues to serve as a lightning rod for criticism, suspicion, and deep-rooted skepticism. Within the royal family itself, her relationships remain nuanced and complex, colored by historical tensions and personal histories that have not been fully reconciled. The legacy of Diana, the people's princess, whose charisma and tragedy captivated the globe, casts a long and persistent shadow, shaping the interpersonal dynamics of the House of Windsor to this day. As Queen Consort, Camilla now occupies a role of immense symbolic and practical significance within the monarchy. Her journey, from vilification and public scorn to acceptance and respect, epitomizes the intricate interplay of personal resilience, public perception, and the enduring power of history in shaping royal identity. This transformation narrative is far from linear. It encompasses moments of confrontation and compassion, strategic diplomacy, and the relentless navigation of public opinion. More than a story of survival, it is one of evolution, of a woman carving out influence and identity amidst the unforgiving glare of royal life, where every gesture is scrutinized and every misstep amplified. This nuanced saga, woven with episodes of tension and alliance, personal pain and public duty, continues to captivate royal watchers and the wider public alike. It compels reflection on profound themes of forgiveness, reinvention, and the potential for redemption even within institutions as tradition-bound and heavily surveilled as the British monarchy. Camilla's story, situated within the broader narrative of the Windsors, offers a prism through which to examine the monarchy's capacity for change, resilience, and continuity. In the twilight years of her life, Princess Diana's anxieties about her personal safety reached a crescendo that few outside her closest circle truly comprehended. One particularly revealing incident occurred in 1995, capturing the atmosphere of fear and suspicion that pervaded her existence. Driving alone through the streets of London in her green Audi convertible, Diana experienced a harrowing moment when, upon approaching a traffic light, her brake pedal inexplicably failed. The car began to roll uncontrollably, forcing her to abandon the vehicle and seek refuge within the perceived safety of Kensington Palace. This near miss was not an isolated mechanical failure, but rather a symptom of the pervasive paranoia that enveloped her life. In the sanctuary of her private quarters, Diana confided in a series of heartfelt handwritten notes addressed to her most trusted confidants, friends such as Elsa Barker, Lucia Fleischer de Lima, Simone Simmons, and Lady Annabel Goldsmith. These intimate communications reveal a woman gripped by the conviction that her life was under threat. She explicitly implicated Britain's security services, naming MI5 and MI6 as potential orchestrators of sabotage against her, suggesting that the brake failure was no mere accident but a deliberate attempt on her life. The gravity of these allegations, penned in moments of isolation and fear, illuminate the extraordinary pressures faced by the princess as she navigated the perilous intersection of public scrutiny, personal betrayal, and institutional power. These revelations, while often dismissed or downplayed in official narratives, provide crucial insight into Diana's state of mind in her final years. They reveal a woman burdened not only by the emotional turmoil of her fractured marriage and public vilification, but also by a profound sense of vulnerability and distrust toward the very institutions sworn to protect her. Her fears resonate poignantly within the context of the monarchy's broader struggles, balancing tradition with transparency, loyalty with accountability. The intersection of Diana's private fears with the public tragedy that ultimately claimed her life continues to fuel debate and speculation. For many, the persistence of conspiracy theories and demands for further investigation reflect a collective unwillingness to let go of a narrative so deeply intertwined with national identity and personal grief. The reopening of Diana's tomb nearly 3 decades after her death is emblematic of this enduring quest for truth and closure. It underscores the ongoing tension between official histories and public skepticism, between the monarchy's desire for discretion and the public's demand for transparency. In examining Camilla's trajectory post-Diana, one must recognize the delicate balancing act she has performed, negotiating the often hostile terrain of public opinion while forging a path of service and support alongside King Charles III. Her efforts to rehabilitate her image, including her patronage of numerous charities and her visible presence in royal engagements, demonstrate a keen understanding of the monarchy's evolving role. Yet she remains, for many, a figure entwined with the painful chapters of the past, a reminder of the complexities inherent in reconciling personal histories with public duties. Ultimately, the story of Camilla and Diana, woven through with themes of love, betrayal, resilience, and redemption, captures the very essence of the British monarchy's enduring narrative. It reflects a family grappling with its human imperfections under an unrelenting public gaze, struggling to maintain relevance in a rapidly changing world. Their intertwined legacies serve not only as a cautionary tale, but also as a testament to the monarchy's capacity for transformation amidst continuity. As the royal family moves forward, the echoes of Diana's fears, Camilla's perseverance, and Charles's leadership continue to shape the institution's path. For observers and historians alike, these narratives provide invaluable lenses through which to understand the challenges, contradictions, and hopes that define the British monarchy today. This was no idle fear or the paranoia of a troubled mind, but a deeply grounded concern born of the harsh realities that Princess Diana perceived with acute clarity. Those close to the late princess, her confidants and supporters alike, often point to her private letters and intimate communications as evidence of her prescient understanding of the dangerous forces swirling around her. Less than a year before her tragic death, in October 1996, during one of her most vulnerable periods, Diana penned a letter that offers a chilling insight into her state of mind. In it, she expressed an urgent need for emotional solace, stating she was longing for someone to hug her, to encourage her to keep strong and hold her head high. More than mere lament, this letter was a declaration of the perilous crossroads she found herself at, what she termed the most dangerous phase of her life. Within this private correspondence, Diana voiced her belief that someone close to her was plotting to cause a deliberate accident, specifically involving brake failure in her car, designed to inflict grievous injury or ultimately death. The motive she inferred was as grave as it was personal: to remove her as an obstacle in the path of Prince Charles marrying Camilla Parker Bowles without opposition. Such a thought was not born of fanciful conspiracy, but from the very real anxieties that had shadowed her in the final months of her life. The tragic events of 31st August 1997 would soon cast these private fears into a sorrowful public light. On that fateful night, as global mourning engulfed the sudden loss of the Princess of Wales, those haunting suspicions took on a fresh and painful resonance. Mohamed Alayed, a hospital official stationed at Pitié-Salpêtrière in Paris, arrived at the emergency scene soon after the crash and was quickly confronted with the grim reality: Diana had been declared dead. Amid the ensuing chaos and grief, a series of perplexing details began to emerge, deepening the mystery and controversy that would surround her death for decades. One such detail was the decision to grant Diana last rites administered by a Roman Catholic priest, despite the predominantly Muslim staff present at the hospital and Diana's own Anglican faith, given that her son, Prince William, stood as heir apparent to the Church of England. This intersection of faith, ritual, and royal protocol underscored the layered complexities involved in the treatment of such a high-profile death. More controversially, British Consul General Keith Moss authorized the partial embalming of Diana's body, a procedure intended to preserve her for public viewing amid the severe trauma her body had endured and the hospital's inadequate air conditioning facilities. While ostensibly a practical measure, this embalming effectively rendered a comprehensive forensic autopsy impossible. The formaldehyde used during embalming is notorious for disrupting toxicology tests, leading critics and conspiracy theorists to suggest that this act was less about preservation and more about obfuscation. Such assertions have fueled enduring suspicions that elements within the establishment sought to conceal the full truth behind the princess's death. The embalming, thus, has become a potent symbol for many of a larger, shadowy cover-up, a suspicion that continues to animate alternative narratives and public skepticism. Central to the enduring royal saga is Diana's poignant reference to Camilla Parker Bowles as the third person in her marriage, a phrase that has become synonymous with the turmoil that enveloped the Windsors during the 1980s and 1990s. To truly comprehend Camilla's role within this narrative, one must unravel the complex web of personal relationships, societal expectations, and royal protocols that framed her involvement. The origins of Charles and Camilla's connection trace back to their university days at Cambridge, where they were introduced by Lucia Santa Cruz, a mutual acquaintance who had once been romantically linked to the prince. Their meeting sparked an immediate and profound connection, reinforced by an intriguing shared lineage. Camilla famously asserted that her great-grandmother had once been the mistress of Charles's great-great-grandfather, a historical linkage that imbued their relationship with a sense of destiny and inevitability. This intertwining of bloodlines and histories provided a backdrop to a relationship that would endure decades of public scrutiny, secrecy, and scandal. Charles, entranced by Camilla's charm and companionship, pursued her with fervent letters and intimate communications, even as their paths diverged under the heavy scrutiny of royal life and the impending engagements that would reshape their futures. The complexities of their bond, rooted in friendship, shared interests such as equestrian pursuits, and mutual understanding, clashed sharply with the demands and sacrifices imposed by the monarchy and its rigid expectations. The eventual progression of their relationship became a focal point not only for public fascination, but also for intense personal drama. Their affair, unfolding in the shadows during Charles's marriage to Diana, cast long and painful shadows over the family. The repercussions were profound, reverberating not just through the palace walls, but into the hearts of a global audience who had come to adore Diana. For William and Harry, the sons of Diana and Charles, the legacy of that fractured marriage and the figure of Camilla as the other woman would come to define much of their emotional landscape and public personas. Camilla's eventual marriage to Charles in 2005, following years of public vilification and private reconciliation, marked a new chapter for the monarchy and the family alike. Yet, the wounds inflicted by the past have never fully healed, and the emotional complexities embedded in these relationships continue to shape the monarchy's present and future. The narrative is not one of simple redemption, but rather a tapestry woven from threads of loyalty, betrayal, forgiveness, and the inexorable pressures of royal life. Understanding this story requires a nuanced appreciation of the British monarchy's unique blend of tradition, personal sacrifice, and relentless public scrutiny. Camilla's journey, from a figure once reviled by much of the public and media to a queen consort steadily carving out her role, mirrors the institution's own struggle to modernize without losing its essence. Meanwhile, Diana's memory remains a powerful and sometimes painful touchstone for the royal family and the wider world. The interplay of these relationships reveals the profound human drama beneath the pageantry. It highlights how personal histories are inseparable from public duties and how the shadows of the past continue to influence the monarchy's ability to evolve and endure. The early chapters of Charles and Camilla's relationship unfolded amidst a confluence of privilege and expectation, where youthful affection collided with the rigid strictures of aristocratic life. It was a time when social standing, lineage, and alliances shaped personal destinies far beyond mere romantic inclinations. Charles, heir apparent to the British throne, was not simply a young man in love. He was a figure destined to embody centuries of tradition, responsibility, and public service. Camilla, with her unpretentious charm and affinity for country pursuits such as riding and hunting, offered a rare sanctuary from the unrelenting pressures of royal existence. Their shared love of the pastoral lifestyle, the rolling estates of England, and the simple pleasures of equestrian sport forged a connection that felt genuine and deeply personal. Yet, the constraints of their station were never far away. The announcement of Camilla's engagement to Captain Andrew Parker Bowles sent shockwaves through Charles's personal world. Andrew was a man of solid standing, an officer in the Royal Horse Guards, a respected figure with strong ties to royal circles, and a polo teammate of Charles himself. The match was seen by many as a socially suitable alliance, aligning two established families and promising stability. For Charles, however, it represented a painful severance from the woman who had come to mean so much to him. His retreat aboard HMS Norfolk following the engagement was emblematic of the emotional turbulence he faced, caught between personal desire and dynastic duty. Compounding this was the assassination of Lord Louis Mountbatten, Charles's great-uncle and mentor, in 1979. This tragic event left Charles adrift, his grief intensifying the emotional refuge he found in Camilla. Her role transcended that of a mere confidant. She became a pillar of support in a world that often seemed cold and unforgiving. The depth of their bond, however, had to be carefully veiled, constrained by the unforgiving glare of public scrutiny and royal protocol. Meanwhile, Camilla's marriage to Andrew Parker Bowles in 1973 was itself a significant episode steeped in tradition and high society pomp. The wedding, witnessed by senior members of the royal family and the establishment, was hailed as a solid, respectable union. Yet beneath the surface of this seemingly conventional life lay undercurrents of complexity. Camilla and Andrew raised two children, Tom Parker Bowles, who would become a noted food writer and critic, and Laura Lopes, an art curator, while Camilla's enduring attachment to Charles quietly persisted. This dual existence, of marital duty on one hand and a clandestine emotional connection on the other, created a fraught personal landscape that would eventually erupt into public scrutiny and scandal. The tangled narrative of love, betrayal, and loyalty that binds these individuals exposes the monarchy's human dimension, often obscured by its ceremonial grandeur. Royalty is not immune to the universal struggles of the heart. Indeed, the heightened visibility of their lives magnifies each triumph and tragedy. The competing demands of private affection and public duty weigh heavily, influencing not just personal lives but institutional futures. Public perception, shaped by a media frenzy and evolving societal values, has alternately romanticized and vilified those involved, further complicating their trajectories. Diana, Princess of Wales, emerged as a symbol of modern royalty, a figure who captured hearts worldwide with her compassion, authenticity, and tragic narrative. Her fears, her public declarations, and ultimately her untimely death cast long shadows over the monarchy, irrevocably altering its course. In contrast, Camilla's journey from the margins to the center of royal power illustrates a slow but steady transformation, one that speaks to the monarchy's cautious adaptation to changing times and its ongoing struggle to reconcile personal histories with public expectations. The public's enduring fascination with these intertwined stories underscores the monarchy's unique role. It is an institution at once historic and contemporary, embodying national identity while reflecting the complexities of human relationships. The legacy of Diana's life and death, coupled with Camilla's rise to prominence, frames much of the contemporary discourse on the crown's future. This narrative is not static. It evolves with each generation, influenced by the perspectives and actions of the royal family's current custodians. Central to this ongoing saga are Princes William and Harry, heirs to the legacy shaped by their mother's life and death and their father's complex relationships. Both navigate their roles with an acute awareness of their family's past while forging distinct paths toward the monarchy's future. William, in particular, embodies a bridge between tradition and modernity, cultivating a public image grounded in stability, family values, and charitable work. Harry, meanwhile, has taken a more rebellious stance, openly confronting family dynamics and media intrusion, thereby redefining what it means to be a royal in the 21st century. Parallel to these narratives is Camilla's public role, a study in image rehabilitation and resilience. Once the subject of scorn and suspicion, she has sought to redefine her place through dedicated charity work and a steady presence alongside King Charles III. Her efforts have earned reluctant acceptance and occasional admiration, yet they remain shadowed by her controversial past. The challenges she faces in gaining full acceptance from the public and parts of the family alike are emblematic of the monarchy's broader challenges in reconciling its past with its present. The royal family's intricate web of relationships, marked by enduring bonds, unresolved tensions, and shifting alliances, continues to unfold with all the complexity expected of a centuries-old institution. At its core lies the story of Queen Camilla, a woman whose life journey encapsulates themes of controversy, endurance, and eventual recognition. Her interactions with family members, her public reception, and her role in the evolving monarchy speak volumes about the delicate balance between personal histories and public responsibilities. As this grand narrative continues to develop, one might look forward to deeper explorations of how Princes William and Harry's perspectives shape the future, or how Camilla's evolving role reflects the monarchy's attempts at modernization. Each thread offers insights into the personal and political dimensions of royal life, enriching our understanding of one of the world's most enduring and fascinating institutions. Would you prefer to delve further into the personal reflections of the princes and their influence on royal traditions? Or perhaps a comprehensive examination of Camilla's public engagement, charitable initiatives, and the nuanced reception she faces? Whichever path you choose, the unfolding story promises to reveal the intricate interplay of legacy, loyalty, and transformation within the British monarchy. Despite the legal finality of their divorce, the relationship between Camilla, now Queen Consort, and her former husband, Andrew Parker Bowles, defies the usual narratives of acrimony and estrangement that so often accompany the dissolution of long marriages. This nuanced, almost genteel dynamic was poignantly on display during the historic coronation of King Charles III on the 6th of May 2023 at Westminster Abbey, a ceremony steeped in tradition, symbolism, and the weight of history. Andrew Parker Bowles' presence at the event was more than a mere footnote. It symbolized a continuity of aristocratic ties and a testament to a civil, respectful rapport that has persisted despite the complexities of their shared past. Andrew Parker Bowles is no mere former spouse tucked away from public view. He remains a respected figure within the intricate tapestry of British aristocracy, known especially for his prowess and passion in equestrian circles. His attendance at the coronation was a subtle reminder of how intertwined personal histories often are with public expectations in royal life. It is worth noting that his standing is not defined solely by his relationship with Camilla, but also by his own distinct identity as a British Army officer and a man rooted deeply in tradition and social duty. The knowledge that her ex-husband would be present at such a defining moment in her husband's reign reportedly stirred a complex mix of emotions within Queen Camilla. The tangled web of past and present, of love lost and alliances maintained, must surely have weighed heavily on her mind. This intersection of history and the now is emblematic of how the British monarchy often requires its key figures to navigate not just public roles, but the intricacies of personal histories in full view of a global audience. Andrew's role within royal social circles has extended beyond ceremonial occasions. In October 2022, he represented Camilla at the funeral of John Bosley, a distant relative of King Charles III, highlighting a pattern of continued mutual respect and cooperation between the two. This public display of goodwill is exceptional in the context of royal relationships post-divorce, which frequently tend toward cold formality, if not outright estrangement. The warmth extended to Andrew starkly contrasts with the far more strained and complex relationships that Queen Camilla maintains with her stepchildren, the sons of the late Princess Diana. The dynamic between Queen Camilla and Prince William, the Prince of Wales, offers a window into the emotional labyrinth that defines the modern British royal family. To call their relationship complicated is perhaps an understatement. Royal commentators and insiders often speak of it in terms shaded with cautious pragmatism rather than affection or closeness. While it is undeniable that Prince William has softened towards his stepmother over time, the ghost of history, the affair that precipitated the breakdown of his father's marriage to Diana, continues to loom large. William's manner in public and private dealings with Camilla tends to be characterized by a polite, measured civility. Beneath this veneer lies a residual wariness and a certain emotional reserve, born of deeply ingrained loyalty to his late mother and the pain her memory still evokes. His younger brother, Prince Harry, shares this sentiment, though his feelings have been more openly articulated in recent years, especially through his memoir, Spare. The long-standing mistrust and resentment harbored by the brothers towards Camilla have presented an ongoing challenge to familial cohesion, leaving an emotional gulf that remains difficult to bridge. The wedding of Charles and Camilla in April 2005, coming nearly 8 years after Diana's tragic death, was a pivotal moment for the monarchy and a significant chapter in the evolving narrative of the royal family. Despite the legal and social legitimacy conferred by marriage, the public and media response was deeply divided. For many, Camilla inherited the archetypal wicked stepmother role, a cultural trope rooted in folklore and storytelling, magnified by decades of tabloid scrutiny and public sentiment. This perception was particularly potent within the royal household, especially for Prince Harry, who has been candid about his complex feelings toward Camilla in his memoir and interviews. Harry recounts the years leading up to the wedding as fraught with emotional conflict, revealing that both he and William earnestly implored their father to reconsider marrying Camilla. Their objections, however, were met with resolute determination from Charles, who saw in Camilla a steadfast partner and a symbol of personal happiness amid a turbulent past. Despite their misgivings, the brothers ultimately acquiesced, presenting their congratulations but continuing to grapple privately with their conflicted emotions. Camilla's journey from a controversial figure relegated to the shadows to a publicly recognized queen consort reflects the monarchy's broader challenge of balancing tradition, public opinion, and personal redemption. The decades-long effort to reshape her public image, to integrate her fully into royal duties and charitable causes, has met with varying degrees of success. Yet, beneath the surface, the scars of public skepticism and familial unease linger. Within this context, the relationship between Camilla and her stepchildren is emblematic of the monarchy's ongoing struggle to reconcile the past with the present. For William and Harry, their mother's legacy remains a defining lens through which they view Camilla, a reminder of love lost, betrayal endured, and a complex family history still unfolding under relentless public scrutiny. This emotional undercurrent continues to influence how the royal family navigates both internal dynamics and their public face. The weight of history, the demands of duty, and the desire for personal healing coexist uneasily, creating a delicate balance that shapes the monarchy's future trajectory. As we observe these dynamics from afar, it is crucial to remember the very human elements at play, relationships forged in love and pain, shaped by duty and public expectation.
The British monarchy, while steeped in centuries of tradition and ceremony, is also a family navigating the most intensely scrutinized chapter of its history. The story of Camilla and Andrew Parker Bowles, alongside the evolving relationships with Princes William and Harry, offers a compelling lens through which to view this transformation. It reminds us that behind the pageantry and protocol lie intricate personal histories that continue to influence the crown's present and future. If there is one certainty, it is that the monarchy's survival will depend as much on how it manages these intimate family relationships as on its ability to adapt to a rapidly changing world. The dance of reconciliation, acceptance, and respect among its key players will resonate far beyond the palace walls, shaping public trust and the institution's place in British society for generations to come. Prince Harry's candid reflections in his memoir Spare have shed new light on the complex and often turbulent dynamics within the British royal family, particularly concerning his fraught relationship with Queen Camilla, née Parker Bowles. His narrative unfolds as a deeply personal account of adjustment, resilience, and the navigation of familial tensions that echo through the corridors of Clarence House and Buckingham Palace alike. At the heart of Harry's account lies an emotional struggle to come to terms with the evolving family structure following his father's long-standing affair and subsequent marriage to Camilla. The public persona of the Queen Consort, often characterized by poised diplomacy and charitable engagement, contrasts sharply with the raw, unvarnished memories Harry shares of his formative years. He recounts moments of fear and suspicion, reminiscent of the archetypal, wicked stepmother figure prevalent in fairy tales, reflecting a deep-seated anxiety about Camilla's perceived intentions and role within the family. One particular grievance that Harry highlights is the symbolic conversion of his former bedroom at Clarence House into Camilla's private dressing room after he moved out at the age of 28. This act, he suggests, is emblematic of broader territorial and emotional encroachments, an unspoken assertion of dominion within the intimate spaces of family life. Such details reveal the subtle ways in which personal boundaries within the royal household are contested, and how these disputes reverberate far beyond the physical spaces they inhabit. Beyond these intimate revelations, Harry's memoir levels more pointed accusations against Camilla and King Charles III, alleging their strategic orchestration of media narratives designed to bolster their public images, often at Harry's expense. He claims that in 2002, during a period of personal difficulty marked by struggles with substance use, stories were deliberately leaked to the press to portray him negatively. This tactic, according to Harry, aimed to garner public sympathy for Charles as a devoted father while simultaneously undermining his own reputation. Although these assertions remain contested and have been the subject of much debate, they underscore the intricate power plays and media management efforts that define life behind the royal curtain. The strained relationship between Queen Camilla and Prince Harry persists to this day, with numerous sources indicating that a genuine reconciliation remains unlikely. Palace insiders have conveyed that Camilla perceives Harry as a source of ongoing tension and disruption within the family framework.
She is reported to harbor concerns that any direct contact between the king and his son could jeopardize both Charles's well-being and the broader unity of the monarchy. In this charged atmosphere, should Harry be invited back to the United Kingdom for official royal duties or family events, advisors caution that maintaining a measured distance from Camilla might serve the interests of all parties involved. This backdrop of discord raises profound questions about Camilla's evolving role and reputation within the House of Windsor. Public discourse remains deeply divided, oscillating between acknowledging her dedication to royal duties and charitable causes, and lingering skepticism rooted in her controversial past, most notably her affair with Charles during his marriage to the late Diana, Princess of Wales. The shadow of Diana's legacy looms large, and for many, Camilla's image remains indelibly linked to the pain and upheaval surrounding that chapter of royal history. Conspiracy theories, though lacking credible evidence, continue to circulate, some implicating Camilla in more sinister narratives concerning Diana's untimely death. The persistence of these rumors reveals the enduring power of Diana's memory within the collective imagination, and the extent to which public fascination with royal tragedy refuses to abate, despite official investigations and repeated denials. Yet, it is important to contextualize Camilla's position not merely as a figure of controversy, but as a woman who has navigated an extraordinary journey of public redemption. From being vilified as the other woman, she has risen to become a central figure in the modern monarchy, embraced by Queen Elizabeth II before her passing and formally recognized as Queen Consort upon Charles's accession. Camilla's commitment to numerous charitable endeavors, ranging from osteoarthritis awareness to literacy campaigns and support for victims of domestic abuse, reflects her efforts to redefine her legacy and contribute meaningfully to public life. This complex web of relationships, where personal histories, public perceptions, and institutional responsibilities intersect, exemplifies the ongoing challenges faced by the British royal family. The tensions between Camilla, Harry, William, and other members of the family illustrate the human dimension of an institution often perceived as distant and monolithic. The monarchy, while a symbol of continuity and tradition, is also a space where loyalty, rivalry, love, and resentment play out in deeply personal ways. As the monarchy moves forward under King Charles III, the intricate dynamics surrounding Queen Camilla will remain a focal point for both public interest and internal family negotiations. The path toward healing and unity is fraught but also indicative of the broader evolution of the royal family in a rapidly changing world. In inviting reflection on these stories, we encourage our readers and viewers to consider the complexities beneath the polished surface of royal life. How do you perceive Queen Camilla's journey from pariah to consort? In what ways does the legacy of Princess Diana continue to influence the monarchy's present and future? These are questions that resonate far beyond palace walls, touching on themes of forgiveness, identity, and the intricate balance between private pain and public duty. For those seeking further insights into the evolving saga of the British royal family, we invite you to engage with our ongoing coverage. Please like, share, and subscribe for comprehensive analysis and nuanced storytelling. And do not miss the next video featured on your screen, where we continue to explore the fascinating world of royal intrigue, legacy, and power.